Do you have a message you'd like to give to Donald Trump?
Just go back and ruin his own country rather than come over to Scotland and ruin our country.
In 2006, American billionaire Donald Trump purchased this land behind me, the estate of Menie, to build a £1 billion golf resort and hotel. Trump has since found himself battling with local activists, politicians, and families who threatened with the compulsory purchase of their homes. What followed was an emotional 2-year battle and war of words, with Mr. Trump on one side and the residents of Menie on the other.
Mr. Forbes is not a man that people in Scotland should be proud of.
Trump's organisation is just a circus, you know, run by a clown.
And I'm pissed off because I've lived here for 30 years. We'll get rid of him yet.
There's no logic, there's no common sense. The politest I can be about that is they're just a bunch of idiots.
The estate of Menie is located 15 minutes outside of Aberdeen, on the east coast of Scotland. I travelled to Menie to meet 3 families who are facing eviction from their homes via a quirk in Scottish law, which allowed Donald Trump the opportunity to force them to sell their land for use in his planned golf development. Hi David. I first met with David Milne, who lives in the former Menie Coast Guard station and has a wide view of the Menie Estate.
Menie is an old area. It's been here, well, rather obviously for many thousands of years. Probably the most notable thing about Menie was the mobile dune system that continually starts and works its way up the coast and moves on. There's an area here of about 5 miles, 8 miles of coast that builds these dune systems, which then march north before dissipating just at a boundary a few miles north of here. There was a rumour, it would have been 2005, that Donald Trump was intending buying the estate. And to be quite honest, we laughed. Because, well, we know what the weather's like here, we know what the area's like, and it's just not his style of place at all. So we didn't think anything of it. Though we first had a phone call from someone introducing himself as Peter White. He'd been shooting on the estate and had fallen in love with the place. Would we be interested in selling the house, as he wanted to buy a holiday home here? And we basically said no and hung up the phone.
David soon found out that all his neighbours had received the same phone call and that Peter White was actually a golf developer working for Trump. David was given multiple offers for his house of around half the market rate, which he declined. Trump then resorted to a more direct approach.
In March, they formally applied for compulsory purchase over my house and 4 others, along with a field adjacent to the estate. Since then, we've been fighting against that because Aberdeenshire Council are refusing to rule it out. They don't need these little spots. Any decent designer, anyone with any common sense can work round about it. We're nowhere near the golf course. We do not get in the way of it at all.
As the threat of compulsory purchase orders hang over their heads, the residents of Menie are also experiencing other problems with the Trump development, such as this large mound of earth built around the front of David's house.
Windbreak, conveniently and kindly placed by my neighbours. They've described my home as being unsightly, as being a blot on the landscape. And I think this is an attempt to try and hide it, along with threatened intimidation, obviously. We can do what we like, sort of thing. Before this was put in place, you can see my house quite clearly from the main Ellen Road. Now you can only see the tower, the actual office area.
The view from the back of David's house has also changed, with the golf course construction work also taking place on sand dunes that were once declared a Site of Special Scientific Interest, or SSI. Do you miss how the land used to be?
Yes, I do. And it's only really when you stop and look at it like this, you realise just how much it's changed already. I mean, it's changed considerably in the time I've been here anyway, by nature. But this sort of man-made destruction is ridiculous and just shouldn't be allowed. He's got 5, maybe 7 golf courses in the States, I'm not sure now. None of them are even in the top 100 in the States, let alone in the world. Just go a few miles up the coast here to Cruden Bay. It's recognised as being one of the top 10 in the world. How does he think he's going to compete with this? He's not. The man is an idiot.
The next day I went to visit Susie Monroe. She's been living at her home in Menie with her husband and 2 sons for almost 30 years. Since Donald Trump's construction work started, the road that runs outside Susie's house has been designated the main access route for work on the site, which has meant she's been unable to use the path to get to the beach.
Okay, that's great, Kim. That sounds a better idea. Okay, bye, bye, bye.
Who was that?
That was my neighbour Kim, so she was going to come down. But what she's decided to do is she's going to go over down Mike and Molly's way and see if she can see any sign of an access, because there's not an access. So it means nobody can get onto the beach, so they say. But then there's no construction happening down here just now, so they can't really stop us. So she's away to check and see if they have done anything. It's supposed to be in down beside Mike and Sheila's, but there's nothing as far as we know. So she's away down to check and see if anything has been signposted or buggers.
The Right to Roam law passed in 2003 gives members of the public universal right to walk through private land in Scotland for recreational use. But there were some exceptions made, such as areas currently under construction.
I thought, Chris, I've lived here for 28 years and I've never had any problems before, and I've taken it really badly. You know, with this Trump lot. Well, yeah. I think we all have, because we're so used to this lovely place. And he's demolished half the dunes down there. I think that's probably why he doesn't want us going in there to see what's going on. I'm just really upset that they allowed Mr. Trump to demolish an SSI, which I would have thought should have been protected. Everybody else would protect their SSIs, but not obviously Aberdeenshire Council. Very sad. You know, to think it's such a rare bit of ground that he can come and demolish. He's carted all the you know, you can see when you come down the road, you can see from upstairs there's a great big bank across as well, and that's all sand he's hauled out of the dunes and dumped along there. Awful.
We walked up the access road outside Susie's house towards the beach, but it wasn't long before security arrived.
There's a boy. There's no construction here, so we're allowed to walk. We checked it with the council.
No, this is one of our
I live here as well. I know what you're saying, but there's nobody working here just now, so they gave us permission. I've been on to the council. I've got the paper.
Well, look,
I know if there's vehicles here,
but there will be vehicles driving up and down. I can't say this very second, but there is vehicles. This is the main route, and it's part of
and we've got the right to roam as well in Scotland if there's no vehicles. We've been through it all.
No, I'm not trying to stop you. But again, this is a main access route. Again, I just have to do my job and actually not.
And I'm pissed off because I've lived here for 30 years. We'll get rid of him yet. Oh, I was beginning to sink in there.
Is that normal?
Oh, it's normal. Oh yeah, I'm not allowed. You're not allowed to do anything. Listen, there's no machines working here, and I've been told by the council, all right. I'm just not taking it. And we have right to roam, so I mean they can't stop us. Okay, if they were doing a lot of work down here, fair enough. We'd have to accept that it is, you know. But when there's nothing happening here, and they're all about a mile along the coast working, so they can't stop us. Oh, there's fun and games, but nobody's taking this sitting down.
The Menie resident in the centre of the battle against Trump's construction work is salmon fisherman and quarry manager Michael Forbes. Okay, so we've now come to Michael Forbes' house. He's kind of the celebrity, or as some people call the local hero, about the whole campaign. He's had a wrestling match via press conferences and via the press with Donald Trump. Donald Trump calling him names, and Michael kind of being remarkably calm about it all.
I look at Mr. Forbes and his disgusting conditions in which he lives, and that people have to look at that. And it's about time that somebody spoke out. Go down and take a look at how badly maintained that piece of property is. It's disgusting. Rusted tractors, rusting oil cans. I don't know if he's doing it. I actually asked him, are you doing this on purpose to try and make it look bad so I pay some more money?
He is another property that's up for compulsory purchase order, and him and his mum, Molly, both live on this land, and we're going to go talk to Michael now.
Well, I've been down here for 43 years. That's the only history I could tell you about it. I came down here when I was 15 to do salmon fishing with my uncle. My uncle had just been there. And it was this place, my uncle's fishing came up for sale. So I bought the land there, you know, the land around the fishing. And then this place came up for sale and I bought this as well. And I've been here ever since. When I first came down here, everything was bare. It was just bare sand, you know. a few tufts of grass here and there. And I've just watched it grow for the last 43 years. And now look at it. Yeah. And then Trump, he comes along and starts digging it all up. It's heartbreaking. Yeah.
When did you first hear about Donald Trump's ambitions for Menie?
I was working on the beach doing my salmon fishing when this lad come up to me and started speaking. Everybody came and spoke to me when I was on the beach. And he says, I hear there's going to be a golf course, is there? Been at you? I says, first I've heard about it, and that was it. That was a start. That's when I heard about it. And then the next, I think it was June or July, I was mending nets, my land bin there, and this lad come up, creeping up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder and says, is it all right if Donald Trump comes and talks to you? You know? I said, time some bastard came and talked to me, I said. So up he came, and all he talked about was money, 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 and Trump, Trump, Trump. That's all he talks about, you know. So that was that. That's all. That's about it.
Has he come and spoken to you since?
No. He sends all his minions and his, all his bullies. He sends all them down. But I've chased them from here now. They don't come near me now. I told them get them charged with harassment if they come near me again.
After Michael's refusal to sell and the very public war of words between himself and Trump, Michael Forbes became an international celebrity as the man Donald Trump can't beat.
Now this is the guy, this is the classic story. Donald Trump, big American, comes, wants to buy up his ranch or his farm, and he says, nope. How much did he offer him for his place?
Well, I offered him some, and he actually accepted. But then when he realized what was happening, he wanted more, and then ultimately we don't get along so well.
Is the allegation that Trump said that you have accepted a few times, then backed out?
No, it's a lot of rubbish. Yeah, you must know by now, Trump's a compulsive liar. If he was to tell the truth, it would kill him. Huh? No, I've never done any deals with him.
Michael's international fame meant he soon started to receive support from people all around the world who are sympathetic to his cause.
Oh, me, it's amazing. I've got letters from everywhere, China, Japan, Italy, France, America, Canada, Australia, Germany, you name it. I've been getting letters from them, and they're all good letters. The most letters I've had is from America, and they just can't stand the man.
How did they get your address?
Some of them is just Michael Forbes behind the dunes at Balmedy. Some of them is Michael Forbes, the man that's fighting Trump, and things like that. It's and they always get them. Yeah, it's good. My mother, she must have had over 200 Christmas cards this year from people from all over the world. Yeah. She was fed up opening them. Yeah. Before, nobody even knew this place existed when I first came down here. Everybody knows where it is now, in the whole world. Yeah.
After years of campaigning by the residents of Menie, 2 weeks after we left the estate, Donald Trump released a statement saying, "We've consistently said that we have no interest in compulsory purchase and have never applied for it. It remains part of the Scottish planning process, but we have not and will not request that Aberdeenshire Council use their CPO powers to purchase houses." But David Milne showed us this letter that he obtained, sent from Trump's representatives to Aberdeenshire Council in March 2009, clearly asking them to exercise its power of compulsory purchase to acquire the 8 plots of land on behalf of Trump International Golf Links Scotland, with a list attached of properties including those of David Milne, Susie Munro and Michael Forbes. Efforts to obtain a statement from the Trump organisation on the issues raised in this film proved unsuccessful. But for the residents of Menie, this is the first win in a battle that is not over yet.